Away from the midnight rollout of the historic goods and services tax. And
it is potentially going to have a revolutionary impact on many parts of the Indian economy.
In a few hours from now, making one nation, one tax a reality.
Been a day since what's being called the biggest tax reform ever.
Introduction of the GST has been an important reform and one of the most significant tax reform in India, replacing old and orthodox tax regime. GST raised much hope that it would herald the emergence of a good and simple tax. With one nation, one market, one tax, subsuming the 17 taxes into one. France was the first country to implement GST to reduce tax evasion. Since then, more than 140 countries have implemented GST, and now it was our turn. Our turn to meet our tryst with GST. And with 16 years in making, the government was finally ready to implement the law that was expected to provide a significant boost to investment and growth of the Indian economy. McCain and other industries welcomed the decision and started the design and preparation to get GST ready. McCain's journey into GST. We partnered with a consultant in September 2016 to analyse the impact of GST on McCain. As soon as the GST registration process opened, McCain began GST registration for all its 11 operating states in November 2016. McCain finance team identified the key impact areas of GST, which were 1. Assessing the impact on pricing. 2. Estimate time and resources required for implementing IT changes. 3. Revisiting supply chain strategy and marketing schemes. 4. Restructuring contracts. 5. Take precautions on anti-profiteering provisions. McCain IT systems also needs to be changed to align with GST. To make the changes, McCain Finance partnered with AMS and GBS to make the system ready. In February 2017, McCain formed a cross-functional team led by finance along with IT, supply chain, procurement, sales, marketing, legal and plant to get ready for GST compliance. But all this while, when we at McCain were preparing ourselves to move our cheese, the country wasn't game for it. As 17 years rollercoaster ride was nearing the final rollout, the media poll revealed a nervous India. 62% of CEOs believed it was an unrealistic timeline. 68% of CEOs seek deferral to a month or two. 1/3 of CEOs said their customers were less than 30% ready. 45% respondents said their organisation is 50 to 80% ready to implement GST from July the 1st. But they weren't alone. As they say, your choices are nothing but your very reflection. The government wasn't ready either. India has always been a VUCA world. Volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. Meanwhile, we faced our first challenge. McCain products were classified in an 18% tax slab, an enormous 11% increase, something that shook us to our very core, and the customer's pocket was going to be most affected. McCain India finance team, along with R&D team inputs, filed a consolidated representation through CII, FICCI, pouring our concerns of why and how this elephant increase would crack up our very pillars of business. Finally, our efforts paid off, and McCain products were classified into 12% tax slab. McCain India team was confident and knew that the hustle will pay us well. McCain Finance ensured customer pricing is finalised, resulting in 35 million rupees adding to the profitable top-line growth, and ensured our IT system is ready for GST Go Live. McCain Finance team, to help their customers, created a GST handbook and formed a GST help desk where all queries were answered as quick as light. Comes the D-Day, July the 1st. McCain India goes live with GST. While Starbucks provided handwritten bills with GST amount and GST registration number, McDonald's had trouble printing out the bills, while McCain India GST Go Live was smooth and seamless. While McCain India was enjoying the success of Go Live, the government revised the compliance norms for GST returns from September the 5th to September the 10th, to October the 10th to December the 31st, and finally to January the 10th. While McCain India finance team were compliant filing GST returns way back on September the 8th and have been continuing to do so since then. Has life ever worked on a straight line curve? No. GST brought in another challenge in the form of e-way bill. E-way bill was to be introduced on the 1st of February 2018 and McCain India was prepared for e-way bill compliance. Although McCain India was ready, GST system crashed, and final rollout was deferred to the 1st of April 2018. GST project and journey is a stellar example of best-in-class execution. Teams displayed being resilient, core competency throughout the journey, demonstrating McCain values in the work and defining how we work at McCain to deliver great performance and business result.